Hello, my sweet soul sisters and brothers. I am so happy to be here with you today. We are going to be talking about the top fears I think a lot of us go through when we are embodying our spirituality and trying to bring it forward out into the world. Now, this is something that I have dealt with. It's something that I help my clients deal with because spirituality, when it's in the comfort of your own home, in the security of your own little meditation space, is one thing, but it's something completely different to live it outside the safety of your own nest. And this is something that a lot of people deal with. A lot of people have to struggle with showing up as themselves, as their whole selves, when they go to work, when they go back and spend time with their families, like their parents and siblings and cousins. It's difficult to really truly express your spiritual self when you are at the grocery store. And this doesn't mean that you have to stand out on the corner and preach. This is just you embodying your fullness. You are whole, you are complete. And showing up as that authentic version of you seems like a no-brainer, but is really pretty challenging, I think, for a lot of us. And for a lot of us, we let our fear, our doubts, and our worries about being totally accepted, both from within, like having to totally accept all of yourself, versus being able to totally feel accepted from outside. Those are two sides of the same coin and can be really intimidating to face. So there's a lot going on here, and I want to be able to really have a beautiful conversation about this today, because what I want for you and what I want for this whole world is to be able to show up authentically as who we are. And can you imagine if everyone showed up as their authentic, loving, joy-filled, empowered self? How different would the world be if we could all embrace that journey? And it would be, everything would be different. Everything would be different, and it would be a whole lot more peaceful. But this takes self-responsibility. It takes courage to really be yourself. And it really starts with you, and it starts with me. We don't have to change the world all at once. If one person changes and someone else sees that person becoming different, better, then they might want to encourage themselves to do that. They might want to embody that themselves. And it's a ripple effect. And the more ripples we have, the more effect we have on our world. So it starts right here with you, and it starts with me. Okay? So what happens when we start feeling this inner calling? I mean, you know what it feels like. Your soul is calling you. She really, really wants you to listen, to feel her, to be a part of her or him. I'm sorry, I usually say the soul is a her because it's the divine Shakti, but it's also because I'm a woman, and that really works for me. But you feel this deep yearning from within, and sometimes you have the courage to listen to it, and you hear a voice that isn't real, and it is 100% real at the same time. And you hear guidance. You take action on that guidance, and you feel really good about being in sync with your highest self. And that highest self voice might come to you as a goddess or an angel or something else that is really uplifting and inspiring and kind of beyond this world. They are real. Yeah, your soul is calling them in to speak to you. And the soul wants you to listen. The soul is yearning for you to listen to her. So can we embody that? And that means you have to create a relationship with her, because most of us have not listened to our sweet soul selves for most of our lives. And there's a lot of reasons for that, because we have been taught that it's not appropriate to listen to that. Some people have been raised in a religious environment that said that was evil coming through them, and that is Satanistic and definitely not divine. There are others who have been shamed for their deep connection with nature or with spirit. There have been reasons in your own life that you have decided to not listen. Maybe people made fun of you when you were little. Maybe you saw fairies when you were little and you could commune with the trees. Maybe you were the person who could feel everybody's feelings. Maybe you're still that person. But it's really hard and frightening to show up today as your whole embodied self because of the wounds of the past, because the fears that have been embedded in you by your family, by your society, by yourself, the things that you have come to believe. And it paralyzes you because you start to doubt yourself. You're uncertain of whether this path is real or not. Are the things that I'm feeling, are they real? Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt like the messages that you've been listening to and receiving, you think that they're real, but your logical mind says, nah, that can't be real. How could that be real? That's evil. That's the devil talking to you, or whatever your language is. There's something that tells you that that isn't natural, that it's not who you really are. And yet today I'm here to tell you that that is who you are. You are that divinely connected being who hears messages, who can feel energy, who can see energy, who can sense the emotions of other people. And when we start to tap into that and realize that that's what we want, that's how we're going to help the world the most, then it gives us this yearning, gives us a resolve to make a decision to, yes, I am going to embrace my wholeness no matter what. And that decision that you are ready to evolve and that you are no longer going to back off from your true self and the guidance that it gives you, that is so empowering. Okay, so when we do this, we get this deep yearning to make a decision, to step forward in our life in a new way and take action based on that decision. And all of those actions come through in your own perfect way. And then eventually you're going to hit a roadblock, right? You're going to hit a challenge. And you can either look at it as, oh no, the universe is telling me I'm not aligned now because I have this challenge. Maybe I wasn't as connected as I thought I was. Who's been there with you? I mean, I've been there before. You see signs and you think that it's a sign that you are on the wrong path. But I'm here to tell you today, sisters and brothers, that those challenges, those roadblocks, those hiccups, whatever they are there to test you. To test if you have a firm resolve in your spiritual self. Do you have that deep connection? And can you maintain it even through struggle? Because what happens is that when you make a decision and you take action, it's going to be tested. Resistance is the rule, and it means that you're making progress, dear sisters, dear brothers, not that you are stepping backwards. If you don't make a decision, the suffering comes in when you go, well, yes, I'm really connected, but no, now I think I'm not because I got this sign. But now I feel really connected and now I don't. And this wavering back and forth between I'm connected and I'm not connected. I'm my spirit self, but I'm not my spirit self. That's what causes us pain and suffering. And that the yogis of old tell us that that's the original cause of pain. That's the original cause of suffering. The original klesha is that we are disconnected, we are ignorant of our divine selves. And that's what causes all the pain. That's what causes all the problems. Okay? So we want to listen. When you start to have courage on this path, you have to listen to that yearning deep within your heart. You've got to. That's your mission at this moment in time, is to be deeply connected and to hear the soul whispers. What does the heart really desire? What is she really looking for? What does she really want? And when you start to listen deeply, you can make a heartfelt, wise decision that is connected to both the head and the heart. The head will get in the way, the ego gets in the way most of the time. But when you start to let the heart be the mind that you're listening to, it will actually evolve to help you connect the head mind and the heart mind. But if your clear decision that you've been listening to with your heart, if that decision lacks action, it will create uncertainty and doubt. So if you say, oh, I have to embody all my gifts. I love who I know myself to be this. I'm going to embody. I'm calling in my angels and my guides to support me on this. Give me what I know to be my divine path. But then you don't take any actions. Well, then you have uncertainty again. You have doubt again. You fear the path again. You fear your greatness again. Doubt lives in indecisiveness. So if you decide and you're wavering back and forth between, can I take this to work, and no, I can, and yes, I can't, and I can do it with these people but not with these people, well, doubt and fear and anxiety lives there in that unwillingness to really stick to your guns. Okay, so now as we do create actions aligned with our decisions, if living your fullest purpose and embodying your divine mission and who you are, spirit, mind, body, soul, everything, if you start taking actions aligned with that, well, then you're going to have momentum, and it's going to start to feed into your beliefs. So beliefs are one of the tricky ways that our minds and our egos hold us back from really making that clear decision and taking appropriate action aligned with our sweet selves. So if we have actions that are aligned with this decision of bringing your divine self into this world wholeheartedly, 100%, then you're going to have momentum. And now we're going to start seeing results, and we're going to start having a feedback loop that says, yes, all that I have been going through, all that I have experienced is real, and my next level is going to keep proving that to me. So it's going to help you pull in these resources of, man, the last time I hit a roadblock, the last time I hit an obstacle on my divine path, well, what did I do? I had faith, I did my practices, I knew that the universe was always supporting me, and I helped myself undo some of the beliefs that held me back from my fullest. So you want to be able to see, what is the outcome? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be in your divine nature? And I talked to this sweet woman yesterday, and she said, man, if I could embody that, I would float. I would fly out of the house every day. My feet would never touch the ground. And how amazing would it feel if you could show up as yourself for your kids, and you wouldn't be the stressed out basket case that you were before, or that you were so disconnected that you couldn't even listen to them and look them in the eye when they were talking to you because you had to get this done. How would it feel if you could be yourself at work? And maybe you have an easier time being yourself with certain people at work than other people, like maybe your colleagues and your teammates. You can be yourself and you can really embody your true nature with them. But maybe it's harder with your superior, or your management, the people that are above you. And you shrink back from being yourself when you're with those people. It's challenging and so fucking easy to be yourself. But the fear comes in again. What if I show up as myself and they judge me? What if I show up and they don't appreciate who I am? What if they show up and I'm rejected? Those are the fears and the doubts and the uncertainty that we all face on this spiritual path. I have faced them, you have faced them, I know you have, I know I have. When we listen to that deep yearning in our heart and we start taking that bold, decisive action, well then we're always going to hit those roadblocks. And it is up to us to choose. Do we want to shrink back because our beliefs are holding us back, because something happened to us when we were 17 and we were rejected from our friends, and we didn't, meet the expectations of our teachers? Are we going to allow that to keep affecting us today? When you have an interaction with your boss? Why? Why shrink back? Who cares if they don't love you? Who cares if they don't see all of you? I have shrunk back from my fullest for most of my life because I had a belief, a deeply rooted belief, that if my family didn't see me, then who would listen to me? Who would really truly want to have me as their teacher? And I had all these other amazing references of like my yoga studios and my students and the benefits that people were getting and the results they were getting. And I had all these amazing resources that I could touch and I could feel and I could actually tap into. But that one belief that if my family didn't see me, nobody else will really truly see me. And you know what? Because I had that belief, because it was so deeply envisioned in me, I had momentum, and I kept proving that to myself. Okay? And that's what we do with these beliefs, is that we keep proving them to ourselves. But then recently, I don't know, in the last couple of years, I've really decided, well, what if my family doesn't see me because I don't let them see me? What if I hide from my family because I'm afraid that they'll reject me if they know who I really am? Well, that was a big thing, because now I'm taking responsibility for myself, taking my responsibility for my own evolution. Instead of blaming other people for my insecurities, well then, now I'm empowered to make a change. So instead of blaming it on your boss or on your parents or your siblings, what if you actually become brave enough and bold enough to just show up as you? And it takes practice and it takes courage. I mean, I have been trying to show up as myself when I go home to Nebraska to see my family for consciously 10 or 15, maybe 20 years. 15 probably. And every time I get a little bit more of myself. But when I made that clear distinction that I might be hiding from my family, that made a huge change in who I was and how I was able to show up for them and for me. I mean, if I'm hiding doesn't do anybody ever any good. Hiding your light, hiding your spirit, your greatness, it has never served anybody. You might think that it's helping somebody because it's not gonna make them feel uncomfortable to see how amazing you are or what's good about you. No. What if that person needs to see all of you and you've just rejected that, what they needed, because you weren't willing to embrace your wholeness? What if my family needs me to be me, and I'm the only one who can give them the viewpoint that they need, that I can give them? Nobody else. And if I can't show up as myself, then I'm proving to them their beliefs that this whole thing is a sham. Okay? There's so many layers to karma and how the world works, and we don't have to understand it all, so don't worry about that. But I do want you to recognize that there is a deep yearning in your heart, and you know it and you feel it. And then when you recognize that, you want to evolve. But before you can evolve, you have to undo. This is the process of awakening. We have to undo the beliefs. We have to undo the conditioning that our families have instilled in us. We have to undo the fact that we weren't believed in when we were little. We have to undo the fact that you might have failed a few times and it was really hard. You have to undo the fact that you haven't been able to do this and that you have felt like a failure and a fraud, and like you have to wear a mask wherever you go because you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. The past is the past. Your current circumstances should not, cannot, on this spiritual journey, limit who you're going to be. who you already are. You just don't believe yourself to be yet. You've got to see the outcome. Look for the evolution. Who are you after you've evolved? Who are you after you have embraced your greatness? What does that feel like? What does that tangibly feel like in your body and your heart and your soul? Connect in with that evolution. Connect in with the outcome of your spiritual practices. There is so much more for you. You can make the impact that you know you're meant to make in this world. But it starts with yearning. It starts with listening. And as you listen, it gives you the courage to make a decision, to take actions. And all those decisions and actions are eventually going to run into a roadblock. And those roadblocks are only meant to strengthen you, not to shrink you. But as you hit those roadblocks, as you make the decisions, as you take the actions, you will evolve. And it is through that evolution that transformation occurs. And every time you transform, you step into your fullness even more. And then there's another layer and another listening of the heart and another undoing and another obstacle and another evolution, because you stepped beyond those limitations of who you used to be, and you are embracing who you are now, and you are transforming and evolving. So we have to recognize that this is just a process. All right, this is just a process of focusing on your evolution, focusing on what you know to be true in your deepest of deepest hearts. Part of you needs attention. She is the soul. And when you hit a roadblock, that part of you also needs attention. It's an opportunity. It's not a problem. It is an opportunity for you to accept and love yourself completely. Right? When you are going through a transformation, emotions are going to arise. Okay, whether it's a physical transformation, like you're moving homes, or like my sister-in-law, her son's getting married this like a week from today. My nephew is getting married. That's a huge transition in their lives. It can be a physical transition like that, or a change of jobs, a change of circumstances, or it can be an inner transformation where you are feeling the fire of Shakti awakening within you, and you have to do something about it. Emotions are going to arise. Challenges, obstacles are going to arise, and that is where you have the opportunity to love yourself more fully, to embrace in your wholeness. You as a human being are capable of so freaking much. You can feel more than one thing at a time. You can think more than one thing at a time. You can feel empowered and scared as shit at the same time. So work on focusing on the outcome. Who are you going to be? Who do you know yourself to be? Who is she? Who is he on the other side of this transformation? And then deal with the undoing. Deal with the things that are holding you back. Unwind all that bondage of what you've been feeling. It's just been there for a long time. It's not you. It just feels like a part of you because it's been there for so long. Right. Okay, so we covered a lot today. I could just probably talk about this for days and days, but I'm not going to keep doing this because I probably bore the heck out of you eventually. So, just to recap, recognize that on this spiritual path, you are looking for somebody who can help you. You are looking for yourself. You don't have to do it alone. You have to listen to your own heart. You have to do the work yourself, but having a guide, finding somebody who has gone through the transformations that you are going through, who is teaching those transformations to other people, who can explain those. That's the person that you really want to tap into. You want to work with somebody like that because they will get you through your transformative process faster and faster. Now, I offer those transformations for people. I love guiding people through their own transformations. And if this seems like something that you are going through right now, I really invite you to go ahead and set up an appointment with me, a heart-to-heart chat, in the next couple of days. I am going to be going to Nebraska for a wedding. but I will be back. So feel free to set up a talk. It's mindyarbuckle.com/talk. It's a 45-minute, completely free heart-to-heart so that we can get to know you and what you're going through, and if this transformative work that I offer is something that will really, truly benefit you in the way that you want it to. I know, dear sisters, dear brothers, that you're struggling right now. I mean, all the normal things that you used to do, like going to your yoga class, going to church, having sangha, a community, it's all been like taken out from underneath of you because of COVID. And this is the time. This is the time to be able to really, truly embrace that, because you have a little extra space around you. You have a little extra time to be able to focus on your journey. And you know that that's what you're yearning for right now. But you just can't figure it all out on yourself, on your own. And that's okay. Everybody needs guidance on this path. So if you want, I invite you to go ahead and schedule that talk, mindyarbuckle.com/talk. And I really, truly look forward to talking with you, because I know you are worth it. I know that you don't want your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities, your lack of total acceptance to bog you down anymore. You are ready, and I'm here to help. All right, my dear sisters and brothers, I love you. I love you so much. And I would love it if you write down your distinctions today. Like, what are you taking away from this? And these distinctions aren't just for you, but they're for our community. What are you learning from this live video? What are you taking away from it? And it not only helps you remember it by writing it down, but then it gives inspiration to our fellow sisters and brothers in our community. And that's what it's all about, is really working together and building up this community so that we can feel supported by each other. All right, again, I love you, and I will talk with you on Tuesday next week. Mwah.